What's going on, partners? Today we're going to continue the deciphering of the agreement to end hostilities, focusing our attention in point number 2.
Therefore, beginning on October 10th, 2012, all hostilities between our racial groups in Shu, Ad-Seg, general population, and county jails will officially cease. This means that from this date on, all racial group hostilities need to be at an end. And if personal issues arise between individuals, people need to do all they can to exhaust all diplomatic means to settle such disputes. Do not allow personal, individual issues to escalate into racial group issues.
In this point, the Big Four, the Mexican Mafia, the Aryan Brotherhood, the Black Guerrilla Family, and Nuestra Familia give you the date that this new administration, these new organizations, are going to take control of the prison system. And that's October 10, 2012. On this date, this agreement takes place. Then they stake their claim on their areas of operation: the Shu, Ad-Seg, general population, and county jails. Notice that SNY yards, 50-50 yards, camps, and juvenile halls are not mentioned. But don't worry, they're coming for your kids. These organizations, they want your kids. They are actually teaching this agreement in Orange County, and there is a push for this agreement to be taught throughout every juvenile hall in California.
I know in Orange County, they are actually allowing credible messengers to teach the end of hostilities, which has various areas and racial groups actually coming together and not fighting against each other, but rather how to resolve issues in a different way other than using violence and gaining unity, and then even getting out and getting enrolled in UC Irvine, and just the work that is being done with the follow-up to these youth and their lives and the trajectory of their life. It is absolutely incredible, but this is being allowed, like stopping the violence and coming together. Thank you.
Now, what needs to happen on October 10th, 2012 in these areas that they have taken claim to for operation? All hostilities amongst racial groups need to come to an end. The wording here is genius. Racial groups, hostilities need to come to an end, insinuating that all the hostility, all the violence that happens behind razor wires are due to racial hostilities, when in fact, these races have segregated themselves into gangs. So in reality, what they mean by racial hostilities are gang hostilities, are gang wars. When writing articulation is everything, and these guys nailed it, that this is a racial problem, not a gang problem. The second point ends by giving everyone who lives and resides in the claimed jurisdictions an order that they have to abide by, and that is to settle their disputes in a diplomatic manner. But how are the Big Four going to enforce this rule, this new order on their oppressors? Don't you worry, partners. Prison Yard TV got us covered. He's about to lay it down.
I was on the bus with 2 ABs, a MA, and 2 BGF caps. And they was getting out of the chute. And they was being taken to Lancaster with me. 2 of the individuals came to my yard. One of the MA members and the BGF cat. I don't know. Oh, matter of fact, 3 of them, because the AB cat, I think his name was Lizard or something like that. He came to my yard also. Now, what that entailed was these yards that these guys get released to, they automatically, most likely, they automatically take over that yard. And they came down with some direct orders for all blacks, all Mexicans, and all whites. And that order was, we aren't going to fight against each other anymore. And if we did, there was going to be serious consequences.
All right, there you have it. So these guys were getting released from the SHU. They were automatically taking over the yards. They came with that directive. Hey, there's going to be no issues between gangs, between our 4 gangs. No issues, because that's why they're letting us out of the hole. Now, how do you enforce that? Are what inmates refer to as disciplines or smash outs, removals. Someone's going to get hurt. You're either going to get stomped out or you're going to get stabbed. You're going to end up dead. But something's going to happen for you violating this rule. The ironic thing is that it happens within the same gang. So if a Mexican Mafia Sureño needs to get disciplined, the same Mexican Mafia Sureño member will discipline that individual. So it's the idea of policing your own, disciplining your own. Let's move on to Ramon Mundo Mendoza, a former member of the Mexican Mafia, in an interview he did on a YouTube channel called The Gray Line, the story behind the blue line. Listen to this.
And I predicted it. I talked to some of the guys from the SSU, and I told them, you know what's going to happen. These guys communicate. They respect each other. They communicate. They talk. So the logical question goes like this: when we beat these guys with our hunger strikes, 'cause those hunger strikes were just ruses to get back out on the yard, to do away with the SHU unit, the segregated housing unit. When we get out to main population and we're walking the yard together, do we want to gangbang or do we want to make money? I'm sure that that question was asked by somebody in talking to each other about their future plans after successfully defeating the SHU with hunger strikes and other measures and getting out. So they say, well, how do we do this? How do we keep our crazy guys, norteños and sureños, from going up against each other? Very easy. If a sureño disrespects a norteño or an NF member, the M guys or the sureños handle that issue. So if I tell all the sureños to stand down and do not target any norteños or NF, they have to stand down or they get killed. And they don't want to get killed. They want to remain part of the network. The same narrative would go from a NF member to his norteños. You disrespect a sureño, you're toast. So now they know, regardless of how much they hate sureños and how much sureños hate norteños, they cannot violate those kind of orders from a big homie. And so again, fear and that enforcement tool of murder. That's how you keep them in lockstep. They could be the baddest guys on earth. You know, Leroy Brown, the baddest man in the whole damn town. He can be as bad as can be, but he'll die if he doesn't follow those orders. So that's how they have been successful. They're making money. So at the end of the day, the color of green trumps red and blue.
There you go, partners. You heard it from a career criminal himself. Do you need any more proof that the agreement to end hostilities was a creation of a prison cartel? If you do, go ahead, like and subscribe. Your boy got you covered. I'm going to keep these videos coming, giving you more evidence on what the agreement to end hostility was all about. For now, partners, that is all I got. Remember to hold the line and let's hold them accountable.